Hey there guys, Knightmare here with another video. And in this one, I'll be reading a little bit of something I wrote. Yes, it's called Death to the Soul. Part 1, Beginning of Resurrection. A man speaks with a deep, calm voice. There is a world which has peace inside of it. Inside every world, there is evil, which lives dwelling beneath the surface. On a world called Earth, it was filled with complete peace. Earth, with primitive humans, is shown living daily lives in their small group. Underneath them, the earth rumbles, and green contracted eyes arise. With one eye bigger than the whole group, the people in the group stop and look at the ground, while it slightly shakes. But before they could back away, in mere seconds a black dragon completely breaks through under them. The black dragon leaks darkness from its body, quickly flapping its wings once, making the ground crack. In a matter of seconds, it flies away faster than the speed of sound, breaking the ground at every inch. Soon it curves, flying up. Looking down at the dirt-filled ground, the dragon roars, raising its head, and the darkness flowing from its released. Dark souls which had green glowing eyes as well. They all went around the world going into people's bodies. The people who the dark souls went into grabbed weapons, killing off their groups. All around the world, blood was spreading as laughter came from the killers. That happened when the first humans were there. Paragraph 2. A giant building would be in the city, and there was something on top of it. What lied there was a man in a black robe with black boots, a bow, 2 knives, arrows, a black mask covering his face, and finally a helmet, which covered the rest of his face, including his whole head. He stood there on the top of the building, looking down. Slowly spreading his arms, he would lean forward, falling off. The man twisted himself while he was in the air, looking at the building, falling upside down. Quickly spinning to fall from his feet, the man pushed himself toward the building, putting his feet on it, making them slide, soon after pushing himself away to another building. He grabbed a pole that was hanging and swung from it, and jumping through a window, the window itself not breaking at all, as if it was never there. He would stand there in a dark building with the lights off. He walked straight through the dark hallway. He made his way to a door which was slightly opened and showed a small light. He opened the door slowly, and there was a man with a computer in front of him. The vision goes to the mysterious man's point of view, and what is seen is that the man on the computer has something black spinning around in the middle of his chest. He grabs the knife on his back, pulling it away, saying the man on the computer, "Those with unclean souls deserve to be erased." The man quickly turned his chair around, but by the time he turned around, the knife was thrown into the middle of his chest. Blood leaked out as the man slid off his chair to the floor, saying with the last of his breath, "Grok." Chapter 3, What the Fuck Am I Saying? Part 3. A bell would ring across the hallways as doors opened and kids walked out. The high school was located in the Kanto region of Japan. Out of the group of people, one appeared to stand out. This one was tall, 6'1" to be exact, and he didn't look happy as the rest of the people. He just walked out with a straight face. He wore the same uniform, though. It was a blue jacket with a green tie and peach-colored pants along with black shoes. Out came a man along with him, and he had a big smile on his face. He put his hand on the other man's shoulder, saying, "Hey, Kartetsu, what's up with you and never smiling? I mean, in the years I've known you, you always smiled. But ever since school started, you haven't been. It's been 2 years and you still haven't told me." The man was Kartetsu. Kartetsu Makio was his full name. He replied, leaning his head down while walking. "And as I've told you many times before, Rek, I just don't feel like it." Everyone called him Rek, but his full name was Rector. Kartetsu and he walked off as someone stood behind them watching. The girl, unlike the two boys, wore a name tag which said Michaela Waiter. She looked at them with an angered glare, but her attention was focusing on Kartetsu more. Then she turned around and walked away. Kartetsu turned his eyes, watching her walk away, knowing she was looking at him, and then kept looking straight. Rek was just walking forward and put his hands in his pockets. With his smile disappearing, he said quietly, but with a serious face, "I know that look on your face. It might look the same to others, but I know it's different. Don't do what you did last time and get a broken arm, Kartetsu." Kartetsu replied back, "I don't even know how it happens." A door would open from a room as a foot appeared from it. The person came closer. It appeared to be Kartetsu. Walking through and taking off his shoes after the door closed, a woman came from across the room and saw Kartetsu. Walking up to him, she put her hand on his shoulder. It was a few inches shorter than him, saying softly, "Are you ready for tonight?" She then tilted her head down. He looked at her, hugging her closely, speaking back softly, "Don't worry, sis." She turned out to be his sister. He lived alone, only with his younger sister who was 2 years younger than him. He let go, kissed her forward, and pushed her slightly to the side, walking off. The stairs were right next to the door, and while he was walking, he checked his watch, seeing it was 6:30 p.m. His sister looked at him through her rounded glasses in worry. She had long black hair with hazel eyes. Her eyes were the same color as his, as well as her hair. She was 5'9", so only 4 inches shorter than him. Her name was Delena Makio, and she was named after their mother, who had died along with their father in a car accident 2 months ago. He went to a room right ahead of the stairs, opening the door. It just had a blue sheeted bed and a white wall, cupboard next to it, and a closet on the wall next to the door. Kartetsu looked through the window above his bed, seeing the sun about to set. He fell in his bed, looking straight at the roof, closing his eyes slowly. There was a knock on the door, and Kartetsu opened his eyes. His eyes became green slit as he awoke. While he was getting up, his hair seemed to be white. He walked up to the door and saw his sister there speaking. "It's time." Shadows around appeared, and his clothes changed into a masked man, the same one who killed that man on the computer. He turned around and walked toward the window, opening it. Once it was open, his sister walked up to him, holding his shoulders from behind softly. speaking with her head down. "Please, don't get hurt." Kotetsu just turned his head to listen, then turned it back forward, jumping out. Paragraph 4. The deep voice spoke again. "The world was shrouded with evil, and the peace was gone. That very day, that dragon which had released all those souls sat on a cliffside, watching the corruption happen, not feel any joy. All it felt was boredom from it. That dragon lived to make others suffer, but before he could see any suffering, the evil humans had already killed the other humans. The dragon sits on a cliff looking down at men and women and children being slaughtered. Got up and just turned around walking away. Then it heard a yell amongst the humans, but this yell was not of pain. He turned around, seeing a man which had his eyes wide open and a child whose body was severed behind him. The man looked angry, having a small knife in his hand. The dragon watched, wondering what the man was about to do. 3 evil men stood in front of him with swords. These swords were cursed, ones making them even stronger, so the dragon thought the man had no chance. As well, since their armor was enchanted as well. He ran up to the 3 evil men, fighting without hesitation. The dragon was amazed. Most had fell at any injury, but he kept standing no matter how much he was hurt. After a minute, the 3 evil souls were dead, and the man stood there in pain. The dragon was amazed by what he saw, something he had seen in no other human, a lust to kill in him. Yet he was not evil. The dragon saw that death as honor. The man then fell to his knees in a matter of seconds, falling to the floor. The dragon flew down, standing in front of the man on 4 legs. He then put the tip of his snout on the man, healing him. The end. So yeah, guys, that was it. At certain parts, if you hear a certain skip, I just haven't done this in a while. I haven't really, read a story in a while, and it's just, I just at certain moments I just got into it, and I just wanted to keep going, but I knew I had to slow down. So yeah, guys, if you like the story, please tell me, and I might consider continuing it sooner than I would. And to tell you something, a little information if you didn't understand. The man, Karatetsu, when he turns into the white fella, he doesn't really know that he's turning into him. That's why when he was speaking to Rek, he said, I don't know how it happens, how he broke his arm, but he does know that he kind of does know that he turns into him. He just doesn't know what he does, in a way. Sorry, let me clarify that, yeah. And the man the dragon saw, he, a little spoiler here, because, just in case I don't write it, he was actually Karatetsu in the past, and turns out Karatetsu is immortal, and he's lived forever, but he doesn't remember his past. You'll find, if I continue, we'll find out why since shit happened and he forgot his past. Yeah, guys, so, this is Knightmare here saying, this brings back a lot of memories from my past life, because I used to have a lot of friends back then that were different from the friends I have now. And yeah. Well, goodbye.
The other day.